Hi everybody, this is going to be chapter 30 of United as One. Consciousness comes back slowly. The cavern floor vibrates under my face, a rumble louder than thunder shaking the entire complex. I come dangerously close to the edge of the chasm that Adam and Fury fell down. With a groan, I roll away from the gap, onto my back and try to sit up. Ugh, my mouth tastes of blood. Every breath feels like I'm rolling around on broken glass. The mountain shakes again, and rock dust falls from the ceiling. I close my eyes to avoid the stinging debris. Maybe, I think, I'll keep them closed a little longer. Six, you stay awake. You get up. Ella, her voice coming through a megaphone directly into my brain, so loud that it makes my head ache. I'm up, I reply out loud as I struggle into a sitting position. It hurts to bend like that, and I have to stifle a cry. What's happening? We're going to bring down the mountain, Ella replies. Sam's chipping away at it, but we're not unleashing the main cannon until you're out. Guess I better get up then, I grunt and I struggle to my feet. So Sam's been forced to play the role Adam was meant for. If everything goes wrong, blow the whole thing up. Adam, I just couldn't get him in time. I peek over the edge of the chasm, but see nothing but jagged rocks and shadows. Something along the edge catches my eye, though. A thick blood trail that wasn't there before that stretches from the control room to this chasm. Dust's body isn't where it fell. Was the Chimera still alive? Did it go down after Adam? I cup my hands around my mouth and shout into the gulf. Dust? Adam? No response. The yelling causes a French lance of pain in my lungs. I hold both of my hands over the whole pain in my chest and stagger backwards, supporting myself against the nearest wall. Marina and Nine are on the way up to you. Ella guides me. They'll meet you in the main entrance. I can make it that far, I think. Slowly I begin to navigate the twisting cavern corridors. I have to pause to catch my breath a few times, and each time I have to choke back a little blood. I glance over my shoulder and notice that I'm leaving a blood trail of my own. Looking back makes me feel a little woozy, my eyes getting hooded. Keep going. Straight ahead now. Almost there. Six! I stumble into the main entrance at the same time that Marina emerges from the narrow passageway that leads deeper into the complex. Nine is flung over her shoulder like a sack of potatoes. Never knew Marina to be the bodybuilding type. Nine must have had transferred his legacies before he went down. I cringe when I see Nine's condition, unconscious, face ashen, missing an arm. Marina makes as if to reach out to me with her free arm, but the shoulder is dislocated, so she ends up awkwardly jerking her shoulder in my direction. Where's John and Five? I ask her. Five. No one deserved to die like that. Six. Not even him. Marina shakes her head disgustedly as she delivers this news, avoiding my eyes. John is still down there, holding Cetrocastra until we can drop this place on top of him. As if to punctuate Marina's words, another tremor passes through the mountain base. That would be Sam, very slowly demolishing the Mongolian air. Marina takes a look at the hole in my chest, and her mouth opens like she's surprised I'm still standing. Can you make it a little further? I'll heal you once we're clear. No, I tell her. Heal me now. She glances up at the ceiling. But, Ella, if you're listening, you tell Sam to cut that shit out. You didn't see Citricus. What has he become? Marina says, her eyes wide. Six, this might be the only way to stop him. When Adam told me about the collapsing this mountain, I supported it, but that was when it was a last resort, when none of us were left standing to fight against Citricus. Well, I'm still standing. Fuck that, I respond to Marina. I'm not letting John martyr himself. I'm going down there. When I've got him, you can go right ahead and drop this mountain or whatever's left of Citricus. I add that last part more for Ella, who I'm sure is listening in telepathically. Then for Marina, I want Ella to relay that to Sam. Keep this place standing. Let me have a chance. Marina looks in my eyes and I can tell that she's trying to decide whether I've lost it or not. Then she carefully sets 9 down, the big guy groaning deliriously, and presses her good hand against my chest. As her cool healing energy flows into me, I greedily suck in the first deep breath I've been able to take since my fight with Fairy Dunra. I should go with you, Marina says. Her gaze drips towards 9. No, he doesn't look good, I reply. Stay with 9. Make sure he doesn't die. Nobody else dies today, okay? Marina finishes healing me. She grabs my hand. Be careful, 6, she says. Feeling rejuvenated, I sprint in the direction that Marina just came from. I remember this place well. It wasn't too long ago that I escaped from these caverns. Never thought I'd see the day when I'd be running back into its depths, especially not when blowing it up in a viable alternative. I won't let John die down here. He thinks he can win this without the rest of us. He thinks he needs to shoulder all of this to make up for what happened with Sarah. He doesn't need to carry it alone. So I run. My feet slap hard against the uneven terrain. Soon, I'm sprinting down the spiral ledge, deeper and deeper. I can see the disgusting reservoir of black ooze below. I know that's where they'll be. I hurdle a falling chunk of rock, dug under a sagging stalactite, and leaped from the ledge onto one of the narrow stone bridges to save time. The descent is dizzying, and my heart is pounding. At the bottom, I slow down and turn invisible. As soon as I reach the edge of the ooze lake, I stop in my tracks. A mess of the black oil is spread across the stone floor here, almost as if a balloon filled up with the stuff exploded. Some of the trindles flop back and forth on the ground, like fish out of water. Most of the stuff is dry and hardened, though. John lies at the epicenter of it all. He looks like he's been put through a meat grinder. There's not an inch of his body his body that isn't soaked with blood. His skin is shredded, mutilated, bones poking through in places. I think his legs and arms are broken. I watch his chest for a few seconds, hoping to see it rise and fall. He doesn't move. I remember the way he was when I first tracked him down in paradise. Handsome and brave, so naive, ready to put his life on the line. I remember holding that hand, the fingers now shattered, cut to ribbons, and I remember the warmth, the comfort that he gave to me when I needed it. He died down here alone. I should scream, but after all of these years, all of these deaths, I don't feel rage and sorrow like that anymore. I feel cold determination. Finish this. I swallow back bile and turn my attention to the other form on the cavern floor. Frail and withered, an old man, his skin splotchy gray in some spots, and in others, a hardened black like an ooze spread across the floor. Even as I watch, those dark sections of his body slowly disintegrate, blowing away out like ash off the end of a cigarette. The old man leaves a trail of the scooty substance as he drags himself across the rocks, inching towards the lake of ooze, his gnarled hand outstretched. The purple scar around his neck is unmistakable. Setrukasra, still alive, barely. Inch by inch, he drags himself towards the muck. I start forward, with my eyes locked on Setrukasra. I did not notice the Varon dagger that John made until my foot bumps up against it. The blade makes a skittering sound as I kick it a few feet across the stones. I pick up the dagger. When I look back at him, Setrukasra has turned over on his side. His dark eyes cast about, searching for the source of the noise. His nose is completely missing. Just a skeletal hole in the front of his face. And his mouth is completely empty of teeth. He's afraid. I turn visible and meet his eyes. Hello, old man. He lets out a low moan, turns back onto his belly, and increases the pace of his crawl towards the oil. I overtake him with ease, kick him in the side, and roll him over. My foot actually punches a hole in his body, like kicking into a beehive. His chest is skeletal, concave, and with a darkened space where his heart should be. He makes a sloppy swipe at me with a hand tipped with disintegrating claws. I swat his hand away and drop down on top of him, digging my knee into his belly. In a few minutes, this place is going to come down on top of what's left of you, I tell Sejugasra, keeping my voice cold and steady. I want you to know after that, I'm going to track down every copy of your stupid fucking book and burn it. And all your work, everything you made, is getting unmade. He tries to say something, but he cannot. I twist my knee lower. Look at me, I say. This is what progress looks like, bitch. I hack the borrowed dagger onto the side of his neck, right at the scar. Sejugasra gargles. I slice again. I drop the dagger and stand up. I hold Sejugasra's head in my hands. It only takes a few seconds before it starts to disintegrate. I wait until it's all gone. The pieces of the Mogoldorian warlord, the destroyer of my world, killer of my people, of my friends, fluttering through my fingertips like a dark confetti. I dust off my hands. There's a wet, bursting noise behind me. I spin around to see a bubble of the bag ooze that had been hovering over the lake pop. Bernie Kosar springs free, shaking off his coat, and immediately leaps to the floor. Bernie Kosar looks at me and lets go a low, plaintive whine. We both go to John's side. He's a mess, almost unrecognizable. BK lies down on his belly next to him and nuzzles his hand. I touch John's forehead, smoothing back an earring piece of blonde hair that's sticky with blood. You stupid idiot, I whisper. It's over. And you don't even know, you goddamn moron. John gasps. I jump back, startled at first, tears stinging my eyes. It's a sharp noise, and his entire body arcs. He spasms, cuffs, trembles in my arms. I cling tighter to him. When I look down, I see that his injuries are beginning to mend. It's slow, almost imperceptible compared to how fast we normally heal, but it's happening. His eyes are swollen shut. One of his hands grasps my upper arm weakly. Sarah? He whispers. I kiss him. Just a quick one on the lips, tears streaming down my face. I'm sure Sam will not care. Considering the circumstances, I bet he'd kiss John too. John smiles a little, then falls unconscious again, breathing ragged but steadily. BK turns into his griffin shape, and very carefully I settle John onto his back. I climb up behind him. We fly upwards towards the exit to the cave, leaving the dark stench of the Mongolian world behind. Ella, guys, I say to the air, hoping someone is telepathically listening in. We're coming. Outside, dawn is just beginning to break. And this is the end of chapter 30.